don't even know if somebody gon' hear this. Got so many songs they get lost in the endless folders of the hard drive. I wish I was more fearless, cause I just say fuck it and dump all the music for niggas that hate it and niggas that use it as fuel to push them through long nights at school, writing that last minute paper for class that's due in the morning. And I still relate to that procrastination for tasks, cause I need to finish this album. But hell, how many more times can I sit in this wooden pail down in that well and pull it back up with the hope that it's filled? Plus it don't help that I'm rich now, so that means that I don't gotta deal with stress of these creditors calling my cellular like that young rapper that don't got a deal, but do got the skill and do got the will to make it no matter how long that it takes for labels to see or a song that are breaking the rest of the world to catch on that he's great.
The title of this video is called Procrastination, and if you're like me and you've been dealing with this ever since you were a kid, keep watching. Procrastinating is like, I know exactly what I need to do, but it's hard for me to stay on track. And I know that sounds like a cope. Well, it is a cope, but still. I know that I procrastinate because I know that the content that I produce isn't quite at the level where I want it to be, and it doesn't really deserve to get views. But at the same time, I recognize that you need to create bad content to eventually create good content. The more I care for something, the more I want to procrastinate that task because I know it's important. And even though I try to distract myself, it's still constantly in the back of my mind. Yet I still delay it anyway. I have very specific goals in mind, and like I said, I know exactly what to do and how to achieve them. But I keep falling back into old habits because I'm constantly overthinking this. And as I get older, I realize overthinking is a really hard trait to rewire, especially if you've been overthinking ever since you were a kid. I think you start to realize that it's not a good trait to have, because as you get older, you realize that life rewards action, not hesitance. And the more time you spend overthinking in your head, the more opportunities that you let slip by. I really need to get back in that mindset where I'm just consuming content which aligns with my goals, so I can just further progress myself every day. But I also am struggling with self-doubt, and I need to recognize that self-doubt is just a feeling and it's not an accurate gauge of my future skill that I can develop with this content creation in the future. I need to get out of this mindset where I tend to act spontaneously when I want to think of an idea. I need to find a way to turn even bad ideas into good ones and make them into a digestible format so that you guys can relate to it. I think perfectionism and procrastination go hand in hand, and I think that's a major reason why people just don't start. We're in a world full of short-term dopamine, so people want good results immediately, but that's just unrealistic. I think perfectionism can be great, but it can also prevent growth. Yes, it's really important to have a specific standard or quality that needs to be met when we produce work, but if we start to obsess over this idea that every idea needs to be amazing, then we tend to avoid work on ideas that could have been great, because we have a certain expectation that the idea needs to meet, and we're constantly comparing ourselves to. And if that expectation is not met, then our mind quickly labels it as bad instead of labeling it as an honest attempt. I feel like once we hit a certain peak, we constantly compare ourselves to that peak, and if it doesn't match it or surpass it, then it's not good enough. I know I'm not the best to be giving out advice since I'm relatively new to this YouTube thing, and I know that I don't really have the skills yet to produce good content, but I know I'll get there eventually. I feel like a lot of people fantasize about having good ideas, but they'll just keep it as good ideas because in reality they're using it as like a coping method because they're scared of failure. So they'll be like, oh, that could have been such a good idea, but they'll never actually follow through with it. They rather protect that little dream in their imagination than actually bringing it to reality. I feel like a lot of people would rather tell themselves it could have been great instead of actually making it great and bringing it into reality. Right now, the content I produce is pretty mid, and I know it doesn't deserve to get any views, but with each new video, I'm getting better at editing and I'm getting better at writing a script. The song in the beginning of this video is called Procrastination, and it kind of resonates with me a lot because I used to have trouble holding on to a lot of ideas in the back of my head. But I think the song is about executing those ideas, whether the outcome is good or bad. Because if you're really passionate about something, you should follow through with it. That's it for the video. And I'm going to start being more consistent with these uploads. And if you guys want to stick around, just subscribe, I guess. Peace.